Talk and Power, your motorsport and motoring radio show. Now on 88.5 FM, The Valley Comes Alive. And podcasting across iTunes and talkandpower.com.au.
Okay, Talk and Power podcast episode 108, and I'm here with Todd Brinkworth, and we've got a new guest in the studio. It's not really a guest. I need to explain myself.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm Nick DeChembry. You're listening to the Talk and Power podcast on 88.5 FM, where the Valley Comes Alive, and also on iTunes, Stitcher, Podbean, and wherever you get your podcast from.
What's the website, Nick? I've had many people ask me.
Talkandpower.com.au.
How do you spell it?
TORQUENPOWER.
Thank you.
.com.au.
There you go.
Do people ask you how to spell it? Well, yeah, I guess they probably think it's and.
One of them was my sister. Hello to my sister. Should be listening now. After I told her about 14 times.
Tracy, isn't it?
Yeah.
Hello, Tracy.
Hi, Tracy.
Thanks for tuning in. At least your sister listens. I don't think my sister's ever listened to one episode.
Well, we'll find out, won't we?
Never. Not once. Hey, we've got Brendan Franklin here. Now, Brendan's he's been on the podcast before, and we thought we'd get him in. He's going to be a kind of a permanent contributor to the podcast. So yeah. Tell us, Brendan, before we get too in-depth with the episode, tell us a little bit about yourself. I know you have a media company called Because Race Car.
Yeah, that's correct. So I've had that for a few years now. So videography and that sort of thing. Spent a fair bit of time down the drags, capturing as much as I can down there. I've ducked out to do a bit of the Targa stuff and the Shannon's car show as well. So trying to get out and about as much as I can and keep the local content coming.
It's a very important thing that you do, and the quality of the video that you put out there is second to none. It's really good stuff that you do. But tell for the individual that's listening right now, tell us how much work goes into, let's just say, for argument's sake, the last meet at the Drags on the 27th of March, I think it was. Yep. Tell us a little bit about that event, how much work goes into not just the whole day that you're there. Let's just say it's 12 hours you're down there, roughly, give or take.
Yeah, easily, yeah.
Yep, and then you go home. How many hours go into it afterwards?
If we took last round, I ran 3 cars. So I had 2 of the radial cars and another car, which I haven't put a video up yet. So the whole day was spent doing that. When I get home, I've got 3 separate videos plus the generic round video. So it pretty much, on a good day, would burn the whole day uploading videos. To be honest, the most amount of time that I spend is either picking music, because it makes a big difference depending on what soundtrack you put behind these videos, and then lining up the real cinema. How do you say it?
Cinematography.
Yeah,
Thank you, Todd.
Being very particular and with the slow motions and that sort of stuff, but lining it up to the music, so it's quite precise. If it was just a bit of music and throw a few clips together, I'm sure it would be a lot better, but and a lot quicker. Sorry, but the time I put into it, I think the end result is how I want it to come out. So I still haven't finished all the video from last round. I've still got one of the other cars I did to put all together, but if I had a good run in it, I reckon it'd be a solid day with no breaks to get it out. Yeah. Yep. So there's a lot of work behind the scenes. Even on the dates, I try and be as efficient as I can. So my pockets are full of batteries for the cameras, so I can quickly swap them out. But the whole day spent running around chasing cars and trying to keep on top of it.
Tell us a little bit about yourself as well. I know you're new father. So that takes a lot of your time as well.
It's been great. Yeah.
And also you've got your Monaro running after
we did.
15 years.
Yeah.
I think it was.
Yeah, it was pretty close to that. Yeah, so the whole new dad thing's pretty exciting. I'm actually really enjoying it. I had a fair bit of time off for that. I've only just gone back last week, and then in the last 2 weeks of that time off, decided it was sort of I saw the cruise for the steel bumpers pop up. Closer, towards the start of the leave, but for whatever reason, I didn't really think that I'd get my car going, but the last two weeks of that leave, I thought, you know what, we're going to give it a good red hot go at getting it going. So actually used pretty much the last 2 weeks flat out of that time off to get the HZ going. So it's going.
Yeah.
We made the cruise. It didn't break down. We had a bit of a hiccup the night before.
I saw that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we made the cruise, and it was awesome getting the car out. It was actually, like it, you know, it felt how I used to feel driving at 15, whatever, a long time ago.
Yeah.
Getting back in, it was like I'd never got out. So it was awesome. Really enjoyed it.
No, well, congratulations on the birth of your baby boy,
Thank you.
and also, you know, congratulations on Because Race Car really going places now.
Yeah, it's
and
good,
look, and we really appreciate you joining us on the
No
podcast.
problem.
It's great to have you here.
Awesome.
For those that are listening, Simon's unable to make it tonight. He's not feeling the best, so Brendan wasn't actually a fill-in for Simon. He's actually we had organised Brendan to come in regardless of Simon's absentee or whether he could make it or not. So really appreciate you. Yeah, you probably, you know, you're more than welcome to come to every episode, but, you know, we'll try and get you along when you can and just basically give us your lens on drag racing, the radial scene. But I don't want to. I think you've done a lot of work, as you mentioned before, Targa as well. And I know you and Todd bring a Targa lens to the podcast as well, which I've never really had. And it's attracted a lot more listeners to our podcast. So I really appreciate it.
Yeah.
No, so really appreciate that. Hey, talking of drag racing and radials in particular, Drag Challenge. I think it was a record this year, sold out in 6 minutes. Can you believe it?
6 hours or 6 minutes?
Sorry, 6 hours. Sorry, 6 hours. Sorry.
See, I read the notes for once.
No, my apologies. It was. Can you believe it? It was sold out in 6 hours.
That's still a fair effort, though.
Oh, it's amazing. It's amazing.
We've been talking about it off air a little bit and hinting at maybe doing something, and
Gone.
bang, gone. And I mean, shout out to the boys. Obviously, people are crying out for an event.
Look, I put it in the notes for more than one reason. Look, we've done a lot of work with guys at Street Machine, so it's a bit of a plug for them, and congratulations to them. The other reason why I put it in there was for that exact reason what you just said then. It's something that the people of Australia and even Western Australia, I guess, are really earning for, aren't they?
Yeah.
And this is back to grassroots drag racing and really grassroots motorsport, really, in general. This is it can be die your own handicap as well.
Yep.
Or heads, whatever it may be. It's this is grassroots. It's at the entry level of drag racing. Now, some of these cars aren't entry level cars, I must admit,
No.
but still, at the core of it and the camaraderie between these guys is core. The foundations of grassroots racing, and it raises a number of questions for me. Is that I think you're right. We're earning for this sort of event, not just in Victoria. This one's in Victoria, perhaps nationally.
Yes, you took the words out of my mouth.
Yep.
I was about to say something in WA would be great of this lineup. For various reasons, it probably won't happen right now.
No, look, I mean,
But-
in Western Australia, I've already spoken with Simon about this numerous times. I think in Western Australia we could have something where people are. You don't necessarily need to travel from a track to a track. It could be you have it at the Motorplex, and then one day they do a drive. No, actually, we spoke with Luke Newhoff on an
that's
episode.
right,
Yeah, you drive out to Gingin. That's an example. I don't know. Or Bindoon for the day, and then they have to do a return trip back to the Motorplex and compete that night. An event like that. I mean, these are just ideas that are out in the ether at the moment. But I just thought it's 6 hours certainly tells me something.
Exactly. And I was also about to add, we've had some of the drivers of previous drag challenges on the podcast. Go back, have a listen to those. Some great characters.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't wait to see it myself. But definitely something needed. Brendan probably actually chime in on this. Probably something you'd like to see as well. And
I'd love to go.
go and experience it.
Definitely. I think even a few of the big hitters missed out this year. It was that quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, look, I mean, I know some West Australians attend the event as well. I know Jay Jeffries, or the Jeffrey brothers, sorry, they have attended it in the past. Lorenzo Galotto and his crew have done it in the past as well. John Ferroni has actually done the US version.
Yeah.
He's done that multiple times. So I just think, even in Western Australia, I've just named 4 guys there alone that are prepared to travel. John Ferroni's gone to the other side of the world to do it.
Yeah.
And these guys have travelled to the other side of Australia to do it. I'm sure there would be an abundance of cars that are capable. And I know even regional areas such as Carnarvon, they have raced on the airstrip there before. And I know the people up in Carnarvon are pretty keen to have an event up there as well. So anyway, it's all up in the air at the moment. Just putting it out there, as they say.
I mean, while we're in this sort of area as well, some drag racing people don't like this word I'm about to say, but shout out to our good friends at Race Wars. They made a small announcement. It will be back next year.
I think it's a really narrow-minded view, that one, Todd, that you think that the people in drag racing don't like.
Being honest,
No.
I have had a little bit of flack from a few people, that's all. Maybe it's just me.
No, I don't think that's the case.
But we all know that I'm 100% behind Race Wars. Shout out to the people involved.
Yeah. Yep,
And,
so Jamie Paolucci and Jonathan Murray,
yes.
just to name 2.
And there was a small announcement. It should be back next year. And
Not should be, I think that it's locked in. It's
they
done.
haven't narrowed down a weekend, I believe.
No.
But looking forward to that. I mean, again, I've already heard people that are building cars for it. Like, I heard the announcement a week ago, and you're like, that's it, back on building a car.
Yep.
Do
Sorry,
give them some suggestions for dates. Try and shift it from the Western Nationals weekend.
No, actually, it will be, again, rumour, and sorry, Paolucci and John, if you're listening, July. It won't be the traditional weekend.
July in Albany.
Different.
Yeah.
July in Albany.
Maybe. It's just
July
the weekend.
in Albany.
I know. Hey, I've been in Albany in July and it snowed, so anyway.
July in Albany.
Yeah, I know. Just repeating what I've heard. What was listed, but...
Anyway, that's look. I really like. We've had Jamie on the podcast twice now, and Jonathan Murray. We've chatted with him numerous times. Great guy. It's a huge event, and what it does in the town of Albany as well is unparalleled.
Yeah,
it really is, and we'd really like to see that event grow year on year. I will reiterate what Brendan just said. Please, can we move it away from the Western Nationals weekend?
Apparently that weekend is now the Targa weekend.
Very interesting.
Which still sucks for people that wants to go see the Western Nationals, like myself, believe it or not.
Yep.
But we'll see what next year brings.
We won't count our chickens before they've hatched, because as you know, the world that we're living in at the moment, it changes day to day. So
the wind blows the wrong way and we're all locked down.
We're all locked down. Hey, look, on that note, we're going to take a short break here. We'll be back with plenty more. We're going to talk the Bathurst 6 hour after this. I know, Todd, you're pretty excited about it. No.
Yeah.
says me as I'm twisting his arm behind his back. So, yeah, we're going to talk Bathurst 6 hour after this. We've got some latest car news coming up. I'm going to talk and Sweet 16 as well. So we've got plenty to chat about right after the break. All right, Talking Power Podcast, episode 108, and you're joined by Nick DeChemberi, Todd Brinkworth and Brendan Franklin on 88.5 FM, where the Valley comes alive, and podcasting on iTunes, Stitcher, and wherever you get your podcasts from, or YouTube as well. Shout out to the guys. I actually went to a station meeting the other day, had a discussion had a meeting there, and you know, the guys at the radio station doing some really great stuff. They've launched some new technology. I don't know if you've heard.
I have. I read the newsletter that we get all the time.
Thank you.
So yeah,
some new technology where you can go on your Android device and say basically, "Hey, 88.5 FM, how are you?" And the message will get sent directly to the radio station, and you know, you can request a song perhaps for Jimmy Will Rock You, or Graham.
Yes.
in the afternoons.
Yeah.
He has one of the best voices on radio, Graham.
He does.
His magnificent voice. Anyway, I digress. Hey, want to chat some news. Bathurst 6 hour. What did you guys catch the race?
I saw about 10 minutes of the 6 hours.
This is going to be a long segment then.
Yeah.
Brendan?
No, I didn't.
No, okay, that's all right. Look, I mean, I wanted to. This is the first thing I wanted to say. Not so much about the race. I don't want to get stuck into detail about the actual race itself. It was more about the event and the media coverage it got. So this is an ARG race, Australian Racing Group, partly owned by James Warburton. It was a no-brainer that it got prime time on TV, Channel 7. Now, did you find it interesting? Now, this does happen from time to time. I'm not saying this happened because of this event. But I found it interesting that the Dockers versus Carlton game, even though it was on the Eastern Seaboard at Etihad Stadium, at Marvel Stadium, that game was still delayed into Perth. Generally speaking, when one of the West Australian teams are playing away, that game is fed live. Now, not always, but generally speaking, that game was delayed by almost 3 hours, and I can't help but think it was to honour what they had committed to the Bathurst 6 hour.
See, I didn't notice because I don't really follow the football, so I didn't really notice. But
well, let me tell you, a lot of West Australians noticed.
That's not good. Because I'll get upset. So,
but okay. I mean, if you're a footy, I'm a footy fan too.
Yeah.
I mean, and had it been the other way around, if it was the Eagles, I probably still wouldn't care, but because my passion is for motorsport. But I found that interesting, that Channel 7. Now, a lot of people told me, it was a Foxtel game anyway, so Foxtel had the rights to it. But I can't help but think that was delayed because of their commitment to the 6 hour.
Yeah, mate, but then the Foxtel angle makes sense as well.
Yep.
But, I mean, overall, though, from what I did see more than 10 minutes, but it was pretty good coverage. But, yeah.
15,000 people over 3 days. It didn't look good on TV. The crowd didn't look great on TV, I'll be honest. But still, 15,000 people over 3 days, average that out at 5,000 people a day. Yeah. I think that's... You have to remember, we're talking Easter weekend here as well.
And they nearly cancelled the whole event because of a lockdown.
Yes.
Funny enough, we were talking about 5 minutes ago.
That's right.
That's a good effort. And especially, I mean, people maybe do realise, but also people probably don't realise, Bathurst is a 3 hour drive from Sydney. Mm-hmm. It's 3.5 hours, or give or take, from Canberra. It's not down the road. So you have to make the effort to get out there as well. And that's to 15,000 people over 3 days that made the pilgrimage, so to speak.
I think it's pretty good.
It's a good effort.
Yep.
So,
look, I talk with a lot of people that don't know a lot about motorsport. So a lot of people say to me, hey, what do you think of... A lot of people ask me, what do you think of the supercars? And I say, well, I love it. I love the supercars. Yeah. But they said, but it's not like the old days. And I said, no, it's not. It's not like the old days. I agree. They said they need to go back to the old days where they had cars out of the factory racing each other. Well, here's a newsflash, everyone. That's what this was.
That's what it was.
That's exactly what this was. So this was a Motorsport Australia Group 3E series production car regulations.
Yep.
So these cars, do you know much about the Group 3E? What?
Bits and pieces, but I wouldn't say I'm an expert. I'd go ask Denver if I wanted to know about it.
So in short, we should ask Denver because I'm no expert on it either. But in short, there's a list of cars probably yay long.
Yeah.
And if you're listening to us on the radio, that makes no sense. No. Nick's holding his hands out that are, I don't know, a metre long. Anyway, there's a list of cars this long. And basically you have, in there, they had Group X, which is what these 4 cars here fell into.
Yep.
Then there was Group A1, Group A2, Group C. Anyway, you'll have to forgive me, I don't recall what they all were. And in those groups, you have different cars, naturally aspirated, turbo, minimum weights. Not all cars had minimum weights.
Yeah.
Interestingly enough, Todd, I digress a little bit here. Evo 5, minimum weight 1200, no boost, but you got to run factory engine and factory turbo. No good?
What do you mean, as in no boost, like factory boost?
No boost limit, sorry.
Oh,
No boost.
Send
sorry.
it to the moon.
No boost limit.
Yeah.
But factory turbo.
Yeah. Easy done.
All right, and minimum weight of 1200.
Yeah.
And you got to last 6 hours, of course.
Yeah.
I found that interesting as well. That was
fun.
one that stuck out to me because the other Evos had to carry more weight, but the Evo 5, for whatever reason, 1200.
Yeah, and 20-ish pound on a stock turbo.
Interesting you say 20 pound. You just pulled a number out there. The Group X cars, they were the only cars that did have boost limits. So
Yeah.
the BMW M3, I can't even read that, but that's the M3.
1.5 bar, 1.45 bar.
No, I can read that. I can't read what. And the Golf, VW Golf,
7.5.
7.5. So they all had to run at 18 psi or 21 psi pounds. Sorry. So interesting, but I found also I had to chuckle with the FPV GT. That thing came in at a factory like almost 1900 kilograms.
Yeah.
They had a minimum weight of 1700. That was actually the heaviest car on the track.
Yeah.
So I found that quite interesting. But anyway, so you have these factory cars all running around with minimum weights and basically unrestricted boost, except for these four here. Here's a news flash for everyone. This is what you asked for. This is production car racing. And this is exactly what I feel needs a little bit more promotion. What I liked about this event was you would argue that these cars weren't the premier cars on the weekend.
No.
You would argue that the TCR cars were the fastest or the star of the show, I guess you would say.
Yep.
But I like the fact that they turned it around and turned it into a 6-hour production car race where they made these production cars out of the factory the stars of the show. And you had this infiltration of a number of V8 supercar drivers in there that I can't help but think were strategically placed, some of them.
Can we touch on one thing? I didn't see the end, but I know who won.
I saw the end.
So SVG.
Yeah.
Now, something about a triple crown or something he's now gone and done?
Correct.
But he's done it over 2 or 3 years or something? Am I wrong in saying
Yeah, no,
this?
that's correct.
Oh, okay, there you go. I did pay attention.
Yeah, but Paul Morris has done the same thing. He's not the first to do it. Paul Morris has done it before.
So what's the triple crown?
Well, the Triple Crown is the Bathurst 6-hour,
Yeah.
the Bathurst 12-hour,
Yep.
and the Bathurst 1000.
Okay, that's... Yep. So the triple crown out.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
So I know. Yeah, he's the second driver to do it. Paul Morris has done it before. Speaking of SVG, I know Simon and myself, because he's a Holden guy, I like to rib him a little bit. But he drove the wheels off that car.
He did.
And I have to be honest with you, with respect to his co-drivers, they weren't anywhere near as talented as what he was. He got in that car. They didn't deliver him a great car. And they were dropping in positions. They were nowhere near as fast as he was. And the 5-second penalty, a lot of people said it was because of SVG. That 5-second penalty in that picture there that you can see there, that wasn't Shane Van Gisbergen driving. That was actually one of the co-drivers driving. So he's done the overlap there. You can see he's only overlapped by a little bit on the restart.
Yeah.
That's not acceptable. So then he got handed a 5-second penalty, but SVG had to make sure he had to win by more than 5 seconds. And he did that. He did a magnificent job. He got that car and was just able to shear seconds off the lap time compared to the other two co-drivers. I thought he did a magnificent job.
Now, again, I think I was on this podcast once or twice. When I was at the 12-hour a couple of years ago, he was one of the drivers that would go on top of the hill on the weekend and watch the support races, not to necessarily spectate, but see what the track's doing. He would then go watch his co-drivers during practice to see what the car was doing through the top of the hill, so he had an idea of what was happening. And I think that's pretty awesome. Like, he stands up there, and really nice guy. I went to talk to him and he goes, "I can give you a minute, I'm watching the car." You know what? Cool. Car comes by. He goes, oh yeah, makes some notes in his head. Then goes, how you going? Shakes your hand. That's the extra bit that you do.
Yeah.
You see how your car's going from the outside. So...
Yeah, look, I mean, I think he did a magnificent job, and and I think the event has some legs. I really enjoyed watching it. It was Easter Day, but I managed to watch, I watched pretty much the whole race from start to end. And I thought, he did a magnificent drive. Just want to touch base, TCR, we're seeing what's that rule called? What do they call it now? I've lost it. The automatic compensation weight formula. Sorry. So we've seen the Hyundai i30s cop 40 kilos, some of them. So that's based on their previous race. Now, I don't know, Denver will be able to tell us as well.
Yep.
I do not know if it was based on their previous race at Phillip Island, or if it was based on an international previous race.
No, to tell you the truth.
That ruling can come in from an international race. So it's a TCR. But I don't know, because they didn't do that well in their previous race. So I'm suggesting that 40 kilograms. Nathan Morecambe's copped 40 kilograms for Bathurst, and it really hurt him because he was, in some sectors, they were a second down on the other cars. So, but we were likely to see that 40 kilos come into fray for another race for some of the other vehicles. Yeah. They haven't said yet, but it was interesting that Hyundai left the race basically saying they probably won't go back later in the year.
Wow, yeah.
So we're talking about the Bathurst International that's on later on in November. They're unlikely, if they have to carry this 40 kilograms around at Bathurst, they're unlikely to compete. Yeah, it's which is not good for the sport.
No. So, yeah, I haven't really looked into that whole weight thing. I know Hyundai were almost unstoppable, not last year, the year before. And
They are
technically on a newer and improved chassis with the race cars now. But also Volkswagen has stepped up, as well as Audi and whoever else, I think. Yeah. So, yeah.
Anyway, we'll have to watch that space. And like I said, the event was a great event. I didn't see any of the other support categories, unfortunately. I missed the GT race, but again, that was all reports that it was a pretty cracking race as well.
Yeah,
so,
I saw a bit of that one, a little tiny bit, so that was pretty good. So
these guys, obviously, ARG are going somewhere. I mean, the prime time on the 7 network. And did you find it interesting Davey Reynolds was doing special commentary as well, and pit reporting as well?
Didn't we actually say this on the podcast last year?
I think we did, yeah.
Yeah, thank you. That's all right. You heard it here first, again.
Kerry Stokes must have been listening. Or James was listening.
Yeah.
It's interesting, as I said, he's part owner. He's not full owner of ARG, but he's a part owner, and it's a no-brainer for him to give it a prime time on his network.
Yeah, exactly. So...
All right, well, look, on that note, we're going to take a short break here. We're going to be back with more from Todd. He's got a rant lined up. So
don't hype it up too much, but, And
I know nothing about it. So we'll hear from Todd's rant right after this break. Okay, Talking Power Podcast, episode 108. We're here with Todd Brinkworth, Brendan Franklin, and I am Nick DeCembri on 88.5 FM, where the Valley comes alive, and podcasting through iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify, and www.talkingpower.com.au. Do I have to spell it again?
No. No. Bloody
with an N.
Yeah, just with an end. And on YouTube as well. You can catch us on YouTube. And if you'd like to be notified when a podcast comes out, let us know. Go to our website, and that you can subscribe to our newsletter there, and you'll be notified every time a podcast comes out, and you can listen to all of our thoughts. All right, Todd. In the latest, anyway, I'll lead you into your rant.
Lead me into this one.
I'm going to lead you in. We probably haven't done him justice, have we, Brendan? Now, please explain to me. There's a story going around. They're expecting to get $330,000 for an R32 Nissan GT-R. Now, can you tell us a bit about what makes this one of 400 Chiara. Is that how you say it?
I think so. I'm not. You know what? I did do my homework. No one can actually get the pronunciation or agree on the how you say the second one.
Tommy Chiara. But so it's one of 400. Why $330,000 for this R32?
It is rare. Don't get me wrong. And again, people like Denver. He's a lot of shouts out tonight so far. Will probably scream blue murder at me for saying this.
Oh.
It's a body kit and a bit of work from a factory, from a dude that used to build Mercedes. All right. Yeah, it's rare, but so is like a car that Brendan owns. So is a car that you own. All right.
My car wasn't on Gran Turismo. I'm pretty sure that one was.
But that actually, thank you. You actually led into a question I was going to throw at you. So thanks, Brendan. We didn't. What makes it a bit special is it was in a game called Gran Turismo back on PlayStation 1 and PS2 days. And a lot of fans never had heard of Tommy Carrera as a tuning house until Gran Turismo.
Yep.
And now it's the... I actually think there's a bit of fear of missing out, and that's why the price is going to be so high. But what's going to happen is, and this is where my rant comes in, some collector idiot's going to buy it, stick it in a shed, and it's never going to be seen again. Maybe not ask $330,000 for cars like these. Make them affordable, and drive the freaking things, people. The same things are happening with HSVs right now. I'm looking at Brendan as I say this.
Don't know what you're talking about.
Even my Evo 5. Like today I actually had the thought, but someone offered me a large suitcase full of money for it. Do I stop driving it? Like, it's worth that much money. But, to go back 2 steps, the Tommy Carrera gets a green engine cover, a fancy speedo, a fancy front bar, a little bit of fettling under the bonnet, makes a bit more power than stock, and that's about it.
It's quite possible. It's quite... Now I should step in here. I may have led you incorrectly here.
Yes.
It is quite possible that they are in the best interest of the seller here, working together to jack the price of the vehicle up.
Yes.
Because the seller, I believe, is advertising the car on a sister website.
Don't get me wrong though. If I had, I wouldn't say 330, but if I had a spare couple of hundred, I'd probably go make an offer. I wouldn't get accepted, but I'd probably go make an offer. If you actually want to see insanity for Japanese cars, a midnight purple R34 GT-R and or the GT-R Z tune. There was one in Perth of a... Now I get this wrong. It wasn't a Z tune, but it was a pretty special 34 GT-R. Originally costing the $100,000 mark for the owner. Was valued at $500,000. Right? It had an incident. They literally had to wait almost 12 months to get parts for it because Nismo in Japan had to verify it was actually a true car and a whole bunch of other stuff. And as someone said to me, they had to order the unicorn paint from the unicorn factory to make sure it stayed a unicorn. Again, what's the point?
This is a 34 you're referring
34.
to.
So,
Yep.
But yeah, anyway, that said, good on them, and they'll probably get the money. I'm not knocking that; they'll get the money, but
have we? I mean, I do say that I say that in jest a little bit, but have we been led astray? It's come from a website that website advertises vehicles. Is it quite possible?
No, it'll get the money. I guarantee it. It'll get the money. I actually read that site, and then I had a look around at some other stuff. They basically, the same company sold a 34 for $250,000 a while ago. That was something special. They sold some limited edition 32 GT-R for an Australian delivered V-spec. They sold for $180,000 because they're pretty rare. So look, people are paying the money.
Yep.
And I said that's part of my rant is people are paying the money. And actually, the other part that kept me up last night.
Oh, sorry, Todd.
No, that's all right. Like, again, people like myself, Brendan, even yourself, Nick, we all have collector cars, right? But we sort of probably paid good money for them when we could, right?
Yep.
If we sell them, we'll probably never own them again.
No, you're right, I won't.
Right?
You're
but
right. Yep.
What happens to all these people at the moment that aren't going on holidays, are just sitting at home, actually are fortunate enough to have a job, because there's still many people out of work, which our Australian government doesn't realise. Like, COVID isn't gone, people, and there's still many people out of work. And thanks to a federal government, again, kicked out of their rental homes as of March 31st.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
What do you do if you overcommit on buying one of these cars?
Yep.
12 months, I would put $50 on the table now. There'll be people overcommitting, trying to sell these cars for what they paid for them, and getting a very rude shock when people go, oh.
I think that is going to happen. I think you're 100% on the money there. I think we're going to see some cars go the other way.
Yep.
And I hate to say that, but I think, yeah, you're right. Probably not overcommitted. I don't think too many people will overcommit, but I think they will overpay for vehicles, and you'll see a correction. I don't know when, but that's the
No,
only
I
thing
think people
don't
are going to overcommit, and then the problem is the repo man comes and grabs it, and if it's a certain deficit between what the bank is owed versus what the repo company get for it, it will sit in storage a lot of the time and never be seen again. Now, again, that's a waste. So, but that's part of my rant. I had more, but I'll stop now.
You can keep going. It's all
No,
right.
I don't
We've got
have
plenty
Simon.
of
I
time.
don't have Simon here. I was actually going to wind up Simon, so I don't have Simon here to.
What were you going to say to him?
Oh no, it's fine.
Okay.
But anyway, Pete. Anyway, you know what? This is a shout out. If you want to buy a collector car at the moment, do your homework. Don't overpay for something. And if you can't afford it in 12 months, you can't afford it now.
Yeah, agreed.
That is my best advice.
Agreed.
So,
While we're talking now, speaking of, we don't get paid by Shannons. We don't have any commercial interest with Shannons. We'd like to, actually, but we don't. We don't at the moment.
knock, hint, hint.
But we just thought, we're talking of car values, and I just thought they've got an auction coming up next week, and I just came across a couple of ones that caught my eye. But check that out. 1953 Norton. They reckon that's going to go somewhere between $10,000 and $12,000.
See, that is a little bit of money for an old bike, but from what I know about bikes, I would go pay 10 grand for that in a heartbeat.
That's a beautiful bike. Look at that. I mean, there's more. There's more. Sorry, I'm clicking here as well. Now, these cars here, friend of us from the podcast, has got the Spider version of this car here. Absolutely beautiful car. Check this out.
For those playing at home, it's a Fiat 124.
This is a Fiat. Look at that. That is a beautiful
quite nice.
car. Right. Now, as I said, a friend of the podcast, he's got the Spider version. But look at that 124. They reckon $16,000. That's a steal.
That is a steal. That is.
Well, there's no guarantee. There's no reserve on that. But they're expecting that to go between $12,000 and $16,000.
There's no guarantee it'll run all the time either. But hey.
Thanks, Todd.
Sorry, I'm just.
Now, these cars here come with a full description and also gives you the history as well, not of that particular vehicle, but of that particular make and model as well.
Yeah.
So this is this particular 124 keep saying Spider. 124 is an AC sports coupe. Beautiful car. Check that out. I mean, that is absolutely magnificent.
Hey, are they the twin cam or am I?
They will be, yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So that is a beautiful car there, and there was a couple of others, but I'm gonna leave that one. That was just a Porsche GT2 RS Coupe.
Which I didn't quite get the price on that, because you can actually go buy one brand new for pretty similar money. Well, not brand new, but
that's what I thought too. I didn't. Yeah.
Unless it's something special, it could be. I didn't read that link, to tell you the truth. I read all the other links. That one I was like, whatever.
But check this one out as well. There was actually a fake Mach 1 as well that caught my eye. Not Mach 1, sorry, a Boss as well, Mustang Boss. They reckon I'll go for 30 grand. Check that out. That's an original Shelby Mustang 1967 GT 350 fastback.
$250,000.
Yeah. Yeah, that's worth that. That's
it
there.
is.
That's there every day of the week.
Yeah.
Brendan doesn't look too impressed.
Oh, I like it. I wouldn't be able to afford it.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, I just thought while we're chatting values on certain vehicles. Shannon's, as I said, we don't get paid by Shannon's. They're not a radio station. We're just bringing this as a motoring interest story.
Oh, they know the market. Let's put it that way.
They do. They certainly know the market, but we're not remunerated by Shannon's. Hey, while we're talking motorsport news, I'll just keep going here. I don't know if you guys caught the news. This one I actually caught on mainstream news. Rob Zahabi from Queensland built a Dodge Challenger, 1970 Dodge Challenger. I think it was a couple of years ago now. That car actually won the Barrett Jackson Cup. Now I'm going to say it like an American, Barrett Jackson Cup.
Yeah.
Now, why do they say? They don't say Barrett. They say Barrett Jackson.
Tomato. Who knows?
Anyway, that's the first person outside of the United States to win that cup for that vehicle. So congratulations to him. That is that's a beautiful car. I don't know if you've ever seen it before, Havoc. Yeah. Absolutely magnificent car. I think he's got another one on the build at the moment as well. Quite
nice. So
yeah. So congratulations to him. I think that's any time an Aussie can take home an award in the United States at Barrett Jackson, I think that's an amazing story. So congratulations to him. Hey, on that note, we've got to take a short break here. We've got more news coming up right after this. All right, welcome back to Talking Power Podcast, episode 108. We're here with Nick DeChembre, Todd Brinkworth and Brendan Franklin on 88.5 FM and also podcasting on iTunes, Stitcher and SoundCloud and wherever you get your podcasts from. Now, I know you guys didn't catch it was pay-per-view. I only got to see the finals myself. Sweet 16, anyone get to see that at all?
Saw a couple of videos go up.
Yeah, me too. Sort of YouTube highlights, that's about it.
Let's have a look here. I've got some video for you. The radial... Now, I was hoping Simon would be here tonight because we could share the euphoria of the radial world record crashing into the 40s. Yep. Into the 40s. So let's just have a look at that.
Again, while you're loading that, didn't Simon suggest that this would happen very soon?
No, I suggested it was going to happen about 3 events ago. And
there you go.
They left me high and dry, these guys. Anyway, Daniel Ferris has finally done it. Let's just have a listen here. Anyway, it's not very exciting, but...
No, that's fast.
He's done a 49. Now, Brendan, have you seen the photo of the car going down the track? There's a photo, and the separation in the vehicle is absolute. It looks like a funny car. Like the body has lifted that far off from the diff. It's incredible. So Daniel Ferris, he will go down in the record books as being the first person into the 40s, 340s, 349 with an 8, I believe. Absolutely, congratulations to him. It was a long time overdue. I also want to show you, this is the final. This is Stevie Fast Jackson up against Brad Edwards in the final. Now, before I show you the final, can I just tell you, we're big fans of Stevie Fast Jackson, as you know. But how cool is Brad Edwards? He had some damage to the roof of his car I think it was in the finals, in the semi-final. So he cut a square piece. If you see it in the notes, he cut a square piece of tin off his transporter and replaced the roof with it, just so he could get into the final.
Fair effort.
Now, if that's not cool, then I don't know what
pretty
is.
Cool.
He's cut his transporter. That is a picture of him cutting the side out of the transporter, and he's fastened it to the roof, painted it and everything. So congratulations to Brad Edwards. This is the final in Radial versus World. Steve Fast Jackson against Brad Edwards. I'm going to have to go back to that. Anyway, while I'm queuing that final up, this is another video I caught from the same race. Now, I don't know the commentator, his name. This is he's a new commentator, but just have a listen to this guy, his enthusiasm.
Ooh, my man, the right-hand side of Panama City, Florida hot rod, the split level, split window, 63 vet, 865 cubic inches, a rare Morrison horsepower, big country tune machine, Casey Bushmeyer. Here, we're going to get a little mop job there.
Now, can you say that again?
Raise the bar for Richie.
Wow. That
I have to watch that again.
hey, is he about to drop a new rap track or something or what? Like, gee whiz.
Let me recue that again because I actually love. When I played that last night to my kids, they were absolutely on the floor. Listen to this.
Ooh, my man, the right-hand side of Panama City, Florida hot rod, the split level, split window, 63 vet, 865 cubic inches, a rare Morrison horsepower, big country tune machine, Casey Bushmeyer. Here, we're going to get a little mop job there.
We're going to do a little mop job there. Now, Richie, we actually have Richie. We've got Richie coming on next week, so I'm going to play that for him. Is that hilarious or what?
But I couldn't watch the racing. I'd be on the floor.
But talk about I love that the lead into it anyway. Oh, well, that's gonna actually
maybe need a few Millers or Budweisers in you to sort of watch the racing, and maybe it slows it down a bit for you or something. I don't know.
Let me go back to this final here. Let's see if we can get this happening. Why isn't that working?
Phil Shore, big shout to him, of course, Jack Barbie standing behind it. Big shout to Billy Stockland, who's probably watching online right now. Can the luck continue for Brad Edwards? Can Brad Edwards put one of the most famous names in Door Slammer drag racing on the trailer?
He's about to go right here in battle.
Oh, look at the front end starting to come up. It's going to be Stevie Fast Jackson 3.614.
So Stevie Fast
Yeah.
takes home a sweet 16. So congratulations to him and his crew. So that's a magnificent effort there from him and his team.
It's also a fair effort when you run a 4.2 with a wheel stand over the 8th. Like, that's...
Yeah, yes. Brad Edwards, kudos to Brad Edwards. Like, just getting the car into the final when you had to reskin so just think about that. He had to reskin his transporter just to get home that night. So I'd take my hat off to him. Hey, more motorsport news. The news this week, I came across World Series Sprint Cars Grand Final. Will be at the Motorplex next year. Cannot wait for this.
Yes.
So for our Speedway listeners, we don't have many of them because we don't talk enough Speedway. We don't go anywhere near enough Speedway, unfortunately.
Yeah, I don't get to go down there much. If I went down there a bit more, I'd probably talk about it.
But we need to be down there for this. This is going to be a huge event.
Yes.
World Series Grand Final sprint cars will be happening at the Motorplex on the 18th and 19th of February 2022. More information will be made available in the days to come. So congratulations to everyone that worked on getting that across the line. I think that's a magnificent effort, and hats off to everyone that made that happen. I think that's spectacular and great for Speedway. Speedway's actually got some really good numbers in there at the moment, haven't they?
Yes, they do. A few of my friends go a fair bit, actually. And I just either forget or have something on every weekend.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a good watch.
Yeah.
Again, a lot of people think that drag racing is just a car going straight. It's not. You guys will testify to that. And Speedway isn't just about going around a circle. There is an art to what they do, and like the tech, like the actual tech they put in those cars is insane. Even all the support categories, like the things with wings, they're mint. But the super sedans, even the entry level saloon or sedans, it's great to see these cars just like going around a circle, biffing each other.
Yeah.
On mud. What more do you want?
Do you get down there much, Brendan, for the speed?
Well, it's my weekend off.
Yeah.
Because I spent the weekend in the previous one, but we have been down, on the odd occasion.
Yeah.
Not lately, but
Yeah.
I do enjoy it.
It is great. I think they've done a magnificent job.
Yeah.
Did anyone get to the monster trucks at all?
Some friends of mine did, and reckons it was not a bad event.
Okay.
It did rain a tiny bit, though, apparently.
Yeah, it did. I didn't know myself, but yeah.
Yeah, but apparently that actually added to the fun because a bit of wet churned up the mud and the grass and whatever else. Yeah.
Sorry, I did know it rained. I was at the footy. I was
Well,
at
there
the
you go.
Eagles and Port game. It was raining there.
But apparently it was a good event down at the Plex. they had a big crowd from what I understood. I know a lot of people that went, and I think if you weren't away down south with 50,000 other people, you were at the footy or monster trucks.
Yeah, most definitely. Yeah, no, so, congratulations to them that worked on getting that across the line. Just want to quickly chat. Have we got time? I think we've got to go to a commercial break shortly. Yes, we will. We'll go to a commercial break here, and we'll be back with more news right after this. Okay, Talking Power Podcast, episode 108. I'm Nick DeCembri here with Todd Brentworth and Brendan Franklin. Simon Gonzo Travellini called in sick for this episode, so haven't seen his absentee note yet.
Yeah, no.
I'm sure he'll send one in. Hey, news this week. Well, it's not really news, but I mean, it's been out for a couple of weeks now. But some pretty serious modifications happening at Albert Park for the Formula One. I'm looking forward to this.
I am, and I'll tell you the truth. I read the notes and I had a laugh about this. I saw this on April 1st pop up. I thought it was an April Fool's Day joke. I thought, they're going to redirect it into the river, or they're going to be something funny. I looked at some photos and I went, it's April Fool's Day. Good on you. I couldn't wait to see the punchline. You know what I mean? And then all of a sudden I went, oh, no, they're serious. They're making a new track.
It's some extensive changes here as well. It's not just those two corners that corner there. That was terrible, that corner. What number is that? I can't read that. I should have brought my glasses with me. But that one there, Todd.
I can't read the numbers. It's blacked out.
Anyway, whatever number that corner there is, I hate that on a PlayStation. There was a corner. So I'm glad that's been remedied, because it was, I shouldn't say that. If it was crap on PlayStation, imagine how bad it was in real life.
Yeah.
So anyway, I'm really looking forward to these changes that they're doing on for the Albert Park circuit. I think really looking forward to the race a bit later on in the year coming up. So it'll be great.
Yeah, and also while we're here, if you have Netflix, F1
Drive to Survive.
Yeah, thank you. Sorry, I did watch it. The latest season just came out.
Series 3.
Oh, yeah.
Did you binge it? Did you?
A little bit.
Yeah, I haven't. I've only gotten through season 1. I haven't just started season 2.
It made me like F1 again. Let's put it that way.
What was not to like?
Well, anyway, we'll go on. We'll talk about that later.
Look, we'll have a brief discussion here about Formula One now. I guess we can talk Formula One now while we're here. Formula One from Bahrain was the opening round.
There we go.
Lewis Hamilton just got the win.
Yeah, that I did like. I got bagged out for saying the race was boring, but I must admit,
no, the race wasn't boring. I don't think.
I gave it 3.5 out of 5.
Yeah, it was a good race, and Max took it to him.
Yeah.
Lewis baited him into passing him around the outside there. He fell for that hook, line, and sinker. Wow. Max, but he'll learn from that. He'll learn that Lewis did bait him into passing him on the outside and going off the track.
Yeah.
To do so, and then he had to give that spot back. I hope Max learns that he doesn't need to relinquish the spot immediately.
Yeah.
Do it where it's convenient for you, Max. You have to do it within one lap.
So
you don't have to pull over like that second.
This is where I got confused. There was some new ruling about relinquishing places and all this, and it was interesting to watch, but also at the same time, I'm like, what are these guys doing?
No. So the relinquishing of the spot has been around for many years. But what had happened was that the track limits changed mid-race.
Yeah.
The race started off with no track limits, and then midway through the race, I said, all right, we're bringing in track limits, so you've got to be mindful of your track limits. That's a bit silly. I don't quite agree with that. You can't expect the drivers to adjust their patterns midway through the race.
Yeah.
So they applied a track limit midway through. Not ideal, but that's what happened. But the thing about Max relinquishing, he had to relinquish the spot because he'd passed Lewis off the track limit. But you don't need to do that immediately. You need to do it within one lap. Do it where it's convenient for you. Go down the main straight, back off, go off the line a little bit in the dirty stuff if you have to, but go do it convenient to you so that you can have another crack at him on the next corner.
Yeah.
He did it literally instantly, and then he lost his mojo or groove, and he was out of the groove, and he couldn't get back to Lewis till the last lap, and it was too late then. He couldn't get around Lewis. So I was disappointed. I think Max will learn from that.
Yeah.
And the track limit thing, I mean, seriously, you can't change midway through a race, say, oh yeah, we've got track limits now. And this is what I don't like about circuits like Bahrain. If you go off track, it's just concrete and asphalt as far as the eye can see. There's no sand, there's no grass. Like, you go to Spa, you don't need to have track limits.
No.
Because if you put a wheel off on the dirty stuff, you're either hitting the wall or you're a legend.
Yeah.
One of the two.
Yeah. No, you're right.
So, you know what I'm saying? Even Monza, think about it. You go to Monza, you put the wheel on the dirty stuff, you either come home a hero or you come home in... the car comes home in bits and pieces. So, I don't know. I just think we need... That track is ridiculous. I mean, as I said, you can go off the corner and keep driving for another kilometre.
And go into the car park and
it's
a hot dog.
It's asphalted and concreted the whole way. So that makes for a safer race, yes, no doubt. But it really takes the... And then you see this... Okay, we're going to have to apply track limits now because everyone was taking the...
Actually, it's funny. I think it's...
P155.
Either Forza or... maybe F1. And it's one of those games on Xbox or PlayStation. That track, I hate it. It's technical. It does make you a very good controller driver, if that makes sense. But it is just boring because you muck it up, you end up in the concrete, and you're in the car park, and it's like, whatever. So
agreed. Certainly agree. Hey, we need to talk MotoGP as well while we're here. We're gonna have we've had two races, both at Qatar. Different results for both. Sorry, we had Maverick Vinales on the Monster Energy win the opening race, and then Fabio Quartararo, legend, win last night's race. It was really great to see. Changing of results there. The interesting point I wanted to talk about in MotoGP was not so much who won the race. Marc Marquez. If you recall when he had his crash last year, they were talking about him coming back the week after.
Yep.
Here we are now, several months later.
Yeah.
There's still no sign of him. He's had 3 operations in that time. 3 operations.
Yep.
Hasn't healed the way they anticipated. How far away is Marc Marquez is the question here.
Is he coming back? I hate to say. I don't know.
The sport needs him back as much as people think that they don't need him back. We need him back.
I guess he's a hell of a piece of string.
Yeah.
I mean, the good thing is other drivers are coming to the top, and again, you've seen the results. Like, I didn't see much of the first round, but I watched the second round. I don't think I've yelled at a TV so much in my entire life. Like, just...
Jack Miller and Johan...
just...
John Mir.
Balls to the wall, motorbike riding, and they're leaning them over sideways and out braking. Like, it just...
But do you think Jack went too far?
As much as I'm a fan, yes.
It was a bit aggressive, wasn't it? I mean, I know Jones came in there pretty hot and pushed Jack pretty wide, but his retaliation to that wasn't really... I mean, stewards took no action, but...
Yeah, I must admit, I watched the race thinking there's going to be action. And I got to the end of the race and I went, okay.
No, nothing. No action at this stage.
It was a bit...
Yeah. But our Aussie, and look, we're all Aussie and we love Jack Miller, and he's on a Ducati. We especially the Aussie Italians that I know, we love him to death. But I don't know, didn't look that great, his retaliation.
It wasn't. It was a bit, how's your mother, how's your father?
You know,
Let's put it that
Jones'
way.
move on him was fairly... was aggressive, but we see that, you know, Marc Marquez has done that 101 times. Can you imagine if everyone retaliated at Marc Marquez in that manner?
Yeah.
Anyway, it's interesting. It's a great series, and it's been interesting to watch the first two races back to back. I like the back to back. Do you guys like the back to back?
It's growing on me. Like, yeah.
Yeah,
I think it's you do two rounds or two races at each venue. It's actually good data for you as well.
Yeah,
You know what
I think
Like,
so too.
it's- Yeah.
Anyway, we'll see. No doubt we'll see more and more of that as the year goes on. But before we finish up, we'll just touch base here. The three of us are heading down to Bunbury on the 26th of April
Yes.
for the first annual show at the Bunbury Geograph Motor Museum.
Yes.
So if you follow us on Facebook, you would have seen that already. But if you're listening to us and you only listen to us, head on down to the Bunbury Geograph Motor Museum, right in the heart of Bunbury. Right in the heart. Well, you know, when they said it was in Bunbury, I thought that's probably out.
Yeah.
You know, out the back there somewhere.
No, it's
In the industrial area. It is in the heartbeat, right in the centre of Bunbury. And I must admit, I travel on the road a fair bit, but I don't get to Bunbury very much. And I was really impressed with Bunbury. It's changed a lot over the years.
Yeah, you said.
Anyway, these guys are going to be closing off a whole block.
Yeah.
For not just for us, of course, but
Well, you know, yeah,
for
for
us. We're going to be inside the museum that day doing interviews. So head on down there. It's their first annual show. It's a day after Anzac Day. It's a Monday. It's a public holiday. You get to have the day off. The guys at Talking Power give you the day off. We'll catch up with us. Brendan's going to be there as well. Todd will be there. The three of us will be on the mics, on the cameras, doing interviews. Come and say hello. Grab a sticker. Grab a pamphlet. Whatever. Come and see the cars. We'll be inside. We're actually going to be inside the museum. So we're really looking forward to it.
And also, shout out to Simon from Joy Drive, who will be down there.
Simon will be down there
doing
as well.
His own thing. And I was part of something he did a few weeks ago at Fremantle Prison.
Tell us a bit about that.
I was going to say, can I do it next time?
Yeah, do it next time.
Because
actually,
I haven't put the photos up yet, so
Okay,
I want to wait to put the photos up.
You know what? We are running a bit tight of time as well. So, hey Brendan, thanks for coming on. Thanks for joining us on the podcast. Really appreciate it. But thanks for joining us. I hope you enjoyed it.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yep.
Looking forward to coming back.
Yeah.
No worries. And where can we catch your content?
Because Racecars, I've got Facebook, Instagram, and a shop. So becauseRacecarshop.com.au if you want some clothes.
Sounds good.
Yeah, no.
Or stickers.
Yeah, stickers.
All sorts
Actually,
of
there's
bits and pieces.
some of the boot in my car. There you go.
So you can get a sticker as well down in Bunbury if you come and join us down in Bunbury.
Yeah, I'll bring the bag down for you.
Comes
How's
on
that
top.
sound?
Yeah.
That sounds good. All right, guys. Look, thanks for joining us. Todd, thanks for coming.
No
thanks
worries.
for coming in as well. We'll catch up with you in a couple of weeks' time. All right, guys. Take care.
Talking Power, your motorsport and motoring radio show. Now on 88.5 FM, The Valley Comes Alive. And podcasting across iTunes and talkingpower.com.au.